Hi everyone, welcome back to Eleanor's restoration. As you can see, I'm buried in here. And the reason for that is I decided to get a better shed, which I'll show you just now. I'll show you the before and the after. So this is what I'm getting rid of. And the space cleared for the new shed to go in. And here we go, the new shed for loads and loads of mini parts. Look at the length of this thing. Fantastic. So I thought it was going to be a simple fix. Get this in a couple of days, get the shed filled and have loads more space, but being Scotland, it rained while the shed was getting built, so now the inside is soaking. So it's taking longer to dry out because it's freezing here. There's snow, there's wind, there's rain, you name it, it's here. So this is what I've got to work with at the moment. So needless to say, I've not been able to get too much done, but I'll still soldier on. So as you can see, I'm getting the other side of the arm painted, and what I decided to do initially, I didn't take the oil seal and the other bearing out of here because it actually looked quite decent, but if I've learnt anything from this subframe, it's never assume by looking. So all I done was I got that in the vise, and similar to what I did with the front subframe, getting from this side, hammer drift and knock the seal out. So it isn't actually bad, the seal, but the elasticated retaining clip, whatever it's called, is a bit raggedy, so it'll be a new oil seal. The bearings actually look okay. I'm still deciding whether I'm going to replace them, but they actually, you know, they're new. You do get different kinds of bearings. You get these ones on a spacer, or you get ones with a spacer built in. You can see this is the one with the spacer built in at the top there, so just be aware of that when you're ordering the kits. So what I'm going to do is just give this a clean up. I've already painted this, so I've done it in a strange order, but one of those things that if you're not happy with it, you're like, should I, shouldn't I? Yeah, you should. If you're not happy, do it. There you go. Just cleaned up with engine degreaser, and these are new, you know, they're brand new. There's no any issues with them. They'll be getting reused. What I use to clean it is, I think I've showed you before, is this. This stuff is great. Really hard working, and it's £10 a bottle, so yeah, you can get cheaper, but will it last as long? This, I've still to order one of these. These are about £15 for one of these brackets, which is a bit annoying, but as I showed you in the last video, look at that there, that little bit of pressure. Rotten. So yeah, this is what I've all to get back together. I have to say though, I love putting stuff back together. I love building it and getting it new, knowing from right down to the bare bones it's new and it's really solid to go back on. There's some, you know, it's really satisfying. But I need to get this shifted first. So what'll be probably a few hours to me will be instant to you guys. So the shed is filled again. Well, I've still got plenty of space in it actually. I've got my working garage back, I've got space, and it means that once I've finished this subframe and got the last bits and pieces touched up on the front subframe, they can also be stored in the shed, and it gives me a lot of room for the rotisserie and the actual shell. So the old bracket, the one that was rotten. The new one is a replacement one, it's not identical. See the slight difference there? It's the same here, it's just not got this bit up here, which all that does is the brake line sits up here anyway. It doesn't actually do anything on my model. and if we can turn it this way, this is an extra strengthened one. You can see the difference in size there. Quite a big difference in thickness. So, yep, I managed to get a good deal on these actually. Huddersfield Spares had them on offer for £8.50 each, whereas everywhere else was 15, so I snapped up this and the one for the other side. But I don't like the colour, it has to match, so these are going to get painted. So just having a closer look at the back plate here, you can see how this is knocked on to hold the brake cylinder in place. But look at the brake cylinder. It's rusted solid there as well. I don't want to just leave that there because the rust will spread. The rust will spread to the back plate, and you know what. So is it going to be a new cylinder or is it going to be taken off and cleaned? Decisions. Right, I'm going to take this off and see if I can clean it, or if it's going to be a new one. So these are all finger tight on. I know this is the first time I've touched this, so I've not actually taken this off. So that's how it's been made up. Just going to get a hammer and a drift and just knock this little bit here. It shouldn't take too much, hopefully. If I can just balance that there. This is going to be very fun putting back on. There we go. All that for that. Right, this is a bit tight, so the bleed nipple for the brakes has to come off. And once it's given a wee tap, it should come out. Like new. So get that back on, get some copper grease on it, and yeah, that's us ready to start getting this thing back together. So a few days later, parts ordered, parts arrived, still needing parts. Yep, the mini restoration world. This thing, I did look at putting it back on, but it stretched when I took it off, and I think it's one of those parts that needs replaced once you take it off. So yeah, it has been replaced. I've got a pack here, 2 new ones along with the new paper gasket, a couple of quid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these bolts off just now because they're getting in the way a little bit, rattling about. They're all the same bolt, so it doesn't matter which one goes where. That pretty much leaves a plain back plate, except the adjuster. That's fine, that's not needing replaced at all, and it's fine with copper grease in there, so it's just a case what I'm going to do now, build it all back up, get the new parts in, get everything how I want it to be, and go from there. I have cleaned it up. There's a couple of wee scratches which once everything's back on I can touch up just to protect it from rust. But other than that, it's building it back up the same as I stripped it down. Right, old gasket, new gasket. To be honest, that's fine other than being a bit dirty, but you got it in the pack, so. And it's just cardboard, or cardboard type gasket. So, only goes one way. This fits in with these holes here, like that. And I'm not going to put any silicone or anything over this because it's held tight in place. This here has to be tight when this goes back on, and it can be quite fiddly. But you can hold this in place slightly better just by putting the bleed screw in. It'll not hold it tight in place, that's why I have this, but it'll hold it. Enough. And then if we can just put some pressure on here, the desk underneath pushes this back up. There's a ridge in here that it fits in place, and you'll know when it's in place because it can't go anywhere else. And it obviously can't go this way because it would foul on the bleed nipple, so it has to come in from this side. So I can force one bit in, then the second bit in. So that's 2 bits in. This bit should then hopefully come down enough. If it needs tapped with a hammer, which it probably will, then that's fine. Or if you prefer not to use a hammer, you can use some pliers just to pull it. That ain't going nowhere. So there you go, fiddly. A few different ways to do it. I found that the easiest way because tapping it just turned it, and you can see that it turns now because it's in, but you know it's not coming off. That's solid. So while I'm here, I'm going to tighten this bleed nipple up. Bleed screw is a 7mm. Doesn't need tightening much because you'll strip the threads otherwise. So that's it nipped up. This bit here I said I was going to put copper grease on to stop the rust coming back. And as I do this, I'm even forgetting to put copper grease on the bleed nipple, so I'll do that. Right, I want to get this brake hose connected back up. And similarly, I'm putting some copper grease on the banjo bolt. And in years to come, we'll find out if this was worth it. Will I still be doing YouTube videos then? We'll see. Just need to be careful with these bits not to cross thread them, otherwise you will get leaks. This I'm just doing finger tight because I'll adjust it more once it's on. I'll need put to the right area then tightened up. So yep, finger tight for that at the moment. There we go. Right, as you can see, this has all been coated with the stone chip stuff as well. There. I'm just going to put copper grease around here because this is where the back plate slides over. And I find this a lot easier doing it here than it would be putting the radius arm back on and doing it in the car, because I can now lift this on flat, and working with the brakes flat is easier than working on vertical. So like I said before, there's only one way this can go on because it's shaped like an iron, and obviously you keep the right sides to the right sides. So this slips over here. Like that. These bolts, remember, to go through the bracket that holds the handbrake cable. But again, these are getting copper greased. Everything's getting copper greased. So the two, looking at it from this side, these are the two that the bracket go through, so I'll put this one on at the moment because nothing else goes through that, and it'll hold it in place. So that's that one through. Right, to make it easier for you to see, I'm just going to flip this onto its other side. The bracket, which has been painted black, nice and shiny, sits like this. And as with the other ones, copper grease. Right, so these bolts have all been tightened. This has been shaped so it runs, well, you can see where it runs under here, so that it meets with the flexi hose on the bracket here. I think we'll leave that one there, folks. We'll get on next time. We'll just pick up where we left off. I want to get this finished sooner rather than later because I want to get stuff done to Ed because the plan is to make the thistle run this year, which is at the end of May. That's like a Scottish meet for minis, modern and classic. I want to take Ed to that. It's about 130-mile round trip drive. So there's a few bits and pieces I want to get changed, service items, etc. and that, and I want to get on with that, but the weather's just rubbish. You can't get anything done with snow and wind and rain. And I keep saying hopefully that'll change soon, but you know, we're into April now and it's it's not looking good. So yeah, we want to get this finished and we want to get onto bits and pieces for Ed, along with stuff on the Modern Mini and also more stuff on the Eleanor. So I've got plenty of plans, just not enough time to do them unfortunately. So like I say, we'll leave that one there, pick up where I left off next time, just building the rest of that side up. And as always, take care, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!